Hey, what's up, you guys? I want to just do a quick video in regards to my last video that I did, which was about the locusts and Revelation 9. So, again, none of my information that I'm putting out, which is, again, it's just information, and a message, rather. It's like none of the messages that I'm giving to you guys is, like, nothing negative. It's my personal perspective on it, of course, and I am an individual where, I'm not for everybody, which is fine, but all I have is messages for you. So instead of people getting so wrapped up into, like, oh, she said a few curse words, or, she's speaking down on religion, or, it's like, just take the message, because it's really important. It's like, don't get too wrapped up into all the little stuff. So with that being said, I want to start, my upcoming videos kind of more focusing on, like, self-work, self-love, just doing the work on self to be able to have that balance so that we're whole, and, even within me giving these messages, it's something that I'm working on as well, like, I'm naturally an emotional person, so being able to balance my emotions, to where I'm not making decisions based on my emotions, which I did in the past, and it is what it is, but we live in a world where, like, we're consumed with negativity and, evil, and, just a bunch of different bad, dynamics, to where when it's easier to try to fit in with those type of people versus trying to be like a good individual that's done the work on themselves and just wants to be empathetic to others and to willing to teach and learn, So I think that it's important to do that work, because then you're actually in a position within yourself to where you can find out what your purpose is, what your gift is, or what you're actually here on this, realm world to do. It's like, we're not here to just work, go to school, live, eat. It's like, those are things that were created for us because of the people that designed it. You know what I mean? It's like, I've always felt like there has to be more, because it's like, it just it shouldn't be to the way that, we're all doing all these things that were given to us, and this is how it was created, and we're still just trying to get through the day. Like, I encounter a lot of people, and I speak to a lot of people as well, and the common, ground for everyone, is like, you're really just trying to get through the day. Everybody's just trying to stay above water, or, find a little bit of peace throughout the day. You know what I mean? It's like, no. I mean, that should be something that is consistent, that we should be able to have, just day to day, like, and that's not to say that we can't avoid regular life, situations, but it's a energy thing, it's a collective, you know what I mean? It's like, that's just like if you're, like they say, and I don't knock anything, like, I don't follow religion, but I was raised as a Christian, so I do understand the dynamics of it. I do feel like there is truth in everything, it's like, but my thing is just being able to, take what I need from it. It's like, usually when you get so wrapped up into something, it gives you fear and leaves you kind of stagnant within that, and you kind of are hesitant to want to explore anything else, so, I really just want to be able to, because like I said, okay, it's a collective, it's an energy thing. Sorry, I kind of lost track, I'm driving, but it's a collective, it's an energy thing. So, that's just like in religion, in Christianity, because that's what I was raised in. It says that, there's power in prayer. So if you got one person praying, there's power in that. But if you got two or more, of course there's even more power, because it's the energy that's being given to that one, source, or that one, people, place, or thing, So if we were able to all get ourselves vibrating at a higher level. And there's levels to everything. So, it's not like, we just jumping from 0 to 100. Of course, there's steps that we need to take to get there. But if we're all doing that, like, imagine how dope that is, that we are in a position to make it a collective. You know what I mean? So here it is that everybody's doing their work, and and then not even knowing that, you got like 3 people over there doing it, 4 people over there doing it, and now, it's like we got a collective. Now we got a higher vibrating energy of this world that we live in. And regardless of wherever it's going to, because none of us know, whether good or bad, that within self that you did that work and you put some type of effort in to try to, make this world a better place. Or, as far as I'm concerned, I'm doing God's work. So my job is to share these messages so that I can bring you guys to him. So, it's like, hey, if I spent my life, and I use this analogy for myself, I am 35 years old, 2 weeks ago. So within my 35 years, I spent at least 33 of them where because I based a lot of decisions off of emotions. I based a lot of decisions off of, my ego, and just not being receptive to allowing God or the universe to guide me. It's like I spent those many years in a position where I made all my decisions. I wasn't letting nobody guide me, because I just didn't want to be able to say, and then I did, when at adolescence, there was a time when I did get to the point where, I had the main people in my life that I felt like was important and that they were, giving me guidance. But then even when that went left, it's like, well, damn, it's like, I can't blame them, because whether it was, given to me, I didn't have to go with it, so then I really kind of got set in my ways. Like, I'm just going to do it how I want to do it. And that's all of this world, because my reasoning for saying that is because I wasn't allowing God to guide me, and it wasn't that I didn't know him, it just seems like because we live in this world and we get so wrapped up into the bullshit that was created for us that we don't have, let alone do we have time for ourselves, but we don't have time for him. We can give him a moment where we like, oh, thank you, God. Or, let me bless my food. Or, I'm going to go to church on Sunday. It's like when you find yourself, you find God. So then that means that he is consistently with you. You are consistently, touching in with him. It's like no different than a friend or something, like you're just touching in, like tapping in, like, hey, just wanted to, touch bases with you, because for me, in my relationship with God, my Father, I speak to him the same way that I'm speaking to you guys, because he understands me. And because he also knows that I'm a part of him, so I spent 33 years to where I made my decisions. I did my life how I wanted it to be, and it wasn't the best and it wasn't the worst, you know what I mean? But that's the give and take of it all, because I learned a lot. But I'm at the point now where, if as far as this world goes, if I get if God blesses me to be able to have another 33 years, 34, 35, another 35 years, I am willing to accept that I'm no longer in control, and I'm going to give up I'm giving him the baton. He's got it. I'm following you, because I understand. I was able to see the dynamics of when I took the lead and where it actually put me. And again, it wasn't bad because I learned lessons, but it was bad because there was a lot of situations where it didn't even need to be like that, when I could have just been following him. So I have been on my spiritual journey, I'm gonna say, actually being aware of it, and just really learning and stuff, for the last I'll say 4 years consistently, and I say that because during that time I had a full understanding. It wasn't just like, because at first it was like, oh, I'm getting stuff from over here. And let me tell you, once you start, it never stops. Not unless you stop, because what happens is you start to learn so much, and the rabbit hole goes deep to the point where you're questioning everything that you know. So it can be fearful. And a lot of people stop because they like, oh no, I'm too scared. I can't deal with none of that. Because You still got to be able to get up and get through the day, right? And that's strategically designed so that we don't have the time for ourselves and for God. So I'm just here to tell y'all that, it's like, it's really important. Again, I'm 35 years old. I've learned a lot, but I'm going to just say within my heart, within my soul, I feel like there's a lot of major stuff going on right now. And why wouldn't, like even, okay, let me give this analogy. Because a lot of us think like, like we putting in the work because we like, oh, like I went to this community thing and all of those things are good because those things could actually be your individual purpose, right? But I'm talking about like, us as individuals and us feeling like, oh, I'm standing for something because, I went and marched today or and depending on the dynamics of what you're doing the things for, right? We are doing these things together, trying to change the masses, right? Or trying to change the dynamics of the masses, right? But why not everybody do that shit on their own? And then that makes it a collective in the masses, right? Because all that other shit is a game. It don't get us nowhere. I'm 35. Y'all been doing this shit for decades. It ain't getting us no motherfucking where. And excuse my frustration, but man, it's like the dynamics of it. What if it was like this? You do the work, and maybe you don't even get to see it for yourself, right? But if you got kids, again, I said we're in a time right now where, it's a beginning or an end. And as far as my personal perspective and how I feel and my research that I've done and stuff, there isn't no end. Hell, even in the Bible, it said that Noah, when he got the ark together and the two of every, the two animals and two of everything to restart, there was no end. God came through and he wiped that negative, evil bullshit out is what he did. And that's where I feel like we're at right now. So you get to pick what side you on. You don't get to be half in and half out. Right? So even if right now, say we're all Noahs. No, you can't be Noah because hell, that would be kind of guaranteeing that you able to go because Noah did the work. That's why he went. So just say you are who you are. And you know that because that's like, okay, so with every ending there's a beginning, rather, okay? So it doesn't just stop at an ending or a beginning. So say that we're going towards an ending because we know it's a new beginning. And even if we aren't the ones that are able to experience this, that we're able to give this to our children, for them to be able to experience something that we didn't, our grandparents didn't, their grandparents didn't, because again, this shit's been going on for a long time. Like how dope is that? Or are you motherfuckers so selfish that you don't even want to do the work for your kids? You don't want to have them set up in a world where, we're not dealing with none of this shit. I decided to make this really push forward with my passion and, my purpose, because it took me a while to find it out. Like, I've always known that I wanted to help people, but I just didn't know how to go about it. And I'm content with the fact of knowing that I'm putting in this work. I'm sacrificing a lot. I sacrificed, like, to be on this journey. You got to be okay with being isolated, being alone, people thinking you crazy. Don't nobody want to hear what you got to say. Don't nobody like your videos because they don't want the message, because you scared. And I get it because I was there. But I tell you what, I'm willing to sacrifice all this shit, right? Because I have a baby girl that I'm raising and she's 11 years old. I'm a little behind on it, but it's okay because I don't know the real timing of this, and I'm talking about God's time. I just know that he put something on me and it feels good to me and I'm going with it. But I'm okay with all of the sacrifices. I'm okay with the isolation. I'm okay with no friends. I'm okay with family pointing fingers, talking bad about me. Hell, I've been told I'm in a cult. And let me say this, I have nobody of this world leading me. All of my information, my guidance, my everything comes from nobody but my Father, who is God. Yeah. So I'm okay sacrificing all of this